Hello everyone, welcome back to our Unbroken Studios Dev Diary series with our second, yes, number 2 version of our video diary featuring today our creative director, studio creative director, Farren. I'm pointing the opposite direction. There she is, Farren, right there.
Hi, Robert. You nailed it.
I know.
You
how,
nailed it.
how many times does this have to be mirrored for me to just figure it out? Basic question, just tell us a little bit about your experience with Unbroken Studios, the one that we're all part of today.
Yeah, so I've been with Unbroken now for 7 years. We just had our anniversary. I was there pretty much from the beginning. Basically, I came here to work with longtime friends and industry professionals that I really enjoyed working with in the past on various projects over at Pandemic and EA, and kind of couldn't pass up the opportunity to come work with them again. I think that, we vibed so well together that the prospect of kind of making the decisions, for our own game was very, very appealing. So I hopped right over. I left a job at Sony Santa Monica, which was a great place to work, but just decided to take a risk on this new crazy endeavor.
Where did you begin? Where did you get going?
I started out in QA. Knowing
Me too!
Oh yeah. I think a lot of the best developers start in QA. Actually, I think that I think QA gives you a really great perspective on a lot of different aspects of the industry. I think that it gives you an opportunity to work directly with developers, kind of really see the hurdles that game development has. I was QA on the original Star Wars Battlefront.
Wow.
For the PS2/Xbox. Great time. We couldn't have picked a better first project to work on.
Yeah.
Still to this day, love that game. I kind of got in good with the developers, and they were like, hey, do you want to take a crack at design? And I was like, I don't know anything about that. And shipped Star Wars Battlefront 2 as a designer. I got to work on kind of this metagame mode that was really awesome. And then, was on various projects at Pandemic Studios. I mean, I'm very glad that we're not named Pandemic now that we're in the middle of a pandemic.
There you go, yeah, exactly.
It was on the nose.
So you are the studio creative director, which is a pretty lofty sounding title, but tell us, what exactly does that entail? What are you in charge of here?
Basically, my job is to ensure that the studio, basically has creative vision, and that our projects all align to that vision. One of my favorite things to do is pitch to publishers. We actually have a really good relationship with an agency that allows us to talk to all sorts of publishers around the industry. So, I've met some folks that, it's pretty amazing that I've met and got to actually run my mouth off to exactly what the game would be, what the universe is, how the design works, how it works with the monetization system, how the production works. I work with, the other developers on that, and kind of just trying to get as much of a holistic picture as possible. My background is design, so I do definitely look at things with a kind of a core loop and like design lens, but making sure that the art is in line with that vision, making sure that the sound is in line with that vision, making sure that the team understands the vision, most importantly, and that we're all working towards the same goal. And just generally helping kind of like manage the team along and make sure that we're all making something great and enjoying making it. It's challenging, but it's so enjoyable when you have a team that you legitimately love talking to every day. You have developers that kind of get it, and it has not been very hard to align on visions at the studio because we have such talented developers, creative developers, and I think most importantly very design oriented developers, right? I would actually say that the majority of people in the studio have a great design head on their shoulders, and give great feedback when we have playtests, and give great suggestions of how we could fix things, and are constantly passionate about actually playing and experiencing the game. It makes my job so much easier, honestly.
There's this really good plan in place, but there's still plenty of latitude for us to think of new ideas or break something open and say, hey, let's do this a different way, or I thought of a new thing we can do and maybe that'll work differently and better. And often, it's what we end up doing. And like you said, we have this like-minded studio that kind of works in sync on getting these things done and iterating quickly. So
yeah, I mean, it helps that we play test our own games. It helps,
no doubt,
because they tell you where they want to go. Like, honestly.
What are some of the challenges that you've had to face now that you're no longer in the office? Obviously, we've all had to work from home in this new situation. What is it like to be a creative director, having to keep that vision, having to help hone the team and see that holistic view, but do it from a remote position?
Overall, just trying to make sure we get video FaceTime is really, really important, because you get a lot more, you get a lot less loss in translation when you can see somebody's face, I think, overall. But at the same time, it's actually provided much better records of what I said. So I'm not just answering a question off the cuff at my desk. It's actually there in writing. Again, it helps that we just keep hiring really awesome people who are friendly and outgoing, and really seem to get the studio and seem to really like it. We picked the right folks to be around, and things kind of fall into place, I think.
We've gotten too complacent. Let's hire some jerks, make it work out in different ways. Do you have any particular tips or lessons you've learned that you haven't seen maybe spread around the industry as well, but for sure has been working well for you?
Well, my partner and I are both professionals, and we both have full-time jobs, and there's a kiddo in the house that we're also kind of having to get really creative around how we can kind of take time off and kind of take breaks in order to manage all of that. In addition, I have the loudest voice in the world, and I've literally driven her from her studio office into another room. So I definitely think kind of finding a way that you can carve off your time. You don't get that kind of freeway drive to sort of reflect on the day and reset. You kind of just have to be able to do it a lot quicker. But for me personally, I'd say I'd go back to that FaceTime. Just finding ways to get FaceTime with your coworkers. Eat lunch with them over camera. We have a lot of really awesome things, many of them put on by you, that are kind of, opportunities for developers to hang out after hours and just kind of be around each other in a not completely work-oriented setting.
You need to visit us more at the Star Trek and Bad Movie Night after work events.
I do. You guys need to do some things at lunch, because I'm always putting the baby to bed.
That's true. We'll work something out. We'll make some plans. What do you miss from those office work hours?
Those are the things that are harder to simulate. Team meetings where we can actually clap for new employees because we're not all muted on our microphones. I feel like that kind of sense of community is, you just can't replicate it. Remotely. You can simulate it pretty well. But I honestly genuinely just miss being around my coworkers. A lot of them are my family. I mean, they're all my family, and I miss being around my family.
Ditto, for sure. I know that probably anyone who's watching this is curious about what we're working on, and obviously we can't say too much really about what it is, but I want to gauge your excitement on these two major projects that we've been working on for a while now.
I'm really excited about the projects that we're being able to work on right now, because I think they're going to reach a much wider audience. I'm really excited to show the world what Unbroken can do, and kind of have a larger community experiencing those games. We happen to be working with fantastic co-development partners and publishers that are, really helping us bring some fantastic visions to light. So in light of in not being able to say much else, I'm super excited to be able to kind of announce what we're working on and share that with the world, because we're working on some pretty damn cool stuff.
Thank you so much, and have an awesome day. Thank you everyone for checking it out, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thanks, Robert.